The first thing I'm going to do is make more of these folds here, the creases as the bow goes underneath this knot in the middle. What we mustn't do is have these lines coming out parallel. So we must have them splaying out. So we have this splaying here. So this one must splay out this way and this one must splay out this way. So they're all being pinched by this knot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make two sides different. So I'm going to make this side at the bottom a sort of fat, rounded sort of fold here. And the one at the top, much tighter. So rather than getting in the way of the camera, I'm going to show this one on this side and then I'm going to swap it over and do the other one on the other side. But of course I would normally do the two together. So all I'm going to do really is emphasize this shape. So push that down like this. What I don't think I want is this kicking up. I don't think I want that because that's quite weak. So I'm going to just marry that in and then that will go down, and when you get to the knot you can make sure that it's sort of hidden underneath, a slight undercut as you go into here. So make sure that's nice and tidy at this point. So now we have this line coming down here, and we are going to sand it, so this will be a little bit softer, but we can just take a little bit off there. So we've got quite a nice change here as it comes in, and then this little bit comes over there. So that's a fairly open one. A tighter one, such as might be on the top here, then I need a narrower tool to begin with here. So this is a narrower number 9 coming down here. But actually I'm going to make that even deeper by swapping to an even narrower one, like this. And it's quite a strong sort of cut in there. It can come right back here. And again, I'll sort of feather it in here a little bit. So there's no real end to it, it just sort of comes into there. And that's going to come right down into there, into the knot, and I'll just round that over. So all we're doing is emphasising the shadow in here. And we're going to make sure that as we get into there, and it can even be slightly undercut there, slightly rounded in. Make sure that this bit here is nicely cleaned up into there. So we'll do that on both sides. Here they are in there. This is softer, this is a little harder. So clean up all this surface as well. And now we can turn to undercutting these edges as we come round to here. We've already set in this edge here, and we want to make sure that this is the edge of the ribbon, that it follows around and becomes this edge here. And we're going to actually leave a little bit of edge, but this will need to be undercut there, and the edge of the ribbon is a little bit along here. So we're going to leave just a millimetre or so that actually shows a little bit of light caught in it. It's also strengthened the edge. Now because of the grain going in this direction, I can go downhill here, which is really very useful. So essentially I'm going to take a deep gouge and we're going to just remove wood in there like that. Oops, make sure that's firmly stuck down. So I'm going to come straight across here, and I'm actually going to come into the backing wood there, because this just folds its way underneath. It doesn't have to be too deep, just enough to create a shadow. Strong shadow there, so scoop in there and along, and then we make sure that's panned out. So something like that. So what we're left with is a nice edge here. This is coming round, and then sort of goes underneath like that. And feel free to dig some of that wood away. And just disappears around the back like that. So we'll do that on both sides. Turning to the top side of the bow here, again I should have this edge shaped. So this edge is a finished edge along here, set in there. Here is the end of the bow coming round, but in this case we don't have to create any sort of backing really, because this will be up against the collar. So we can just undercut a lot of that like this. So just come down about, what am I, about 30-40 degrees, something like this. Right up. So this is undercut. The bottom one, which we'll see, is more of an actual loop. This one you won't see, so we can leave that like that. So do that on both sides as well. What I didn't mention was this little ribbon here. And I think if you have a small gouge, you can just scoop that out in the way you scoop this one. If you don't, you have a small gouge, we can still use this tool with a sort of little bit of an optical illusion. All we could do is create a shadow, sort of like that. And we can do this by taking the same gouge as we had here and just pushing it in like that, taking a scoop out down into the back. So there's a little shadow created there. That's what we're doing. If I look at the other side here, you can see how much it's been undercut. You see, quite a bit. But to lose weight, we could take more away from that. But that's a later thing. Here, on this point, this undercutting there, I've continued across this one as well. So both the top and the bottom of the ribbon and the back ribbon, shall we call it, have been undercut and set in, and we should have come round and stabbed into the background here, so that when we cut that paper, this will pop off. So the next thing now is we've done these bits is to turn to the knot itself. So make sure to begin with that the edges of the knot and where it joins in, this is all nice and clean and rounded. So make sure we've done all that. Then what we're going to do is not really do a realistic knot like a bit of rope, but more like a sort of, you almost call it a carver's knot, sort of bit of jiggery pokery that gives a sense of a knot without really being one. So what we'll do is we'll make a big cut, a sort of scoop in here like this, and then we'll make another scoop over there like this, so the knot sort of S's along, and that's amazingly effective as a knot on appearance. Nobody really looks and says, oh, that's not a real knot. It just gives you a sense of a knot. So the first thing then is to make this big scoop over here. So once you've got this shape ready, you can take this back here, nice big scoop, probably just a bit over halfway like that. And what that'll do is it comes round, it'll break up this outline a little bit, so instead of it being a blob, it now becomes a little bit softer. And then on the other side here, we'll put a second cut, perhaps coming over this way like this. So you see the two are crossing over a little bit like that, and we can soften these off. We're going to sand it, so we don't need to worry too much about this. That's where am I? But we just take these edges off a little bit, like so. soften that, and on this side. And then we can actually add other little bits like this. A little half bit going over there. And that's the sort of thing that'll end up looking like a knot once that's smoothed over. I want to say just a couple more things about this knot. We've got a good side light, so you can see that these edges are quite hard. This needs to be softened, and it will be when we sand it. But you see this sort of S shape going on here. That's what I really want to show you. And it breaks up the whole bobbin cylinder type surface. But these cuts need to come round and break up this outline a little bit, so we don't have this knot looking symmetrical. So that's just coming round, the tool went round into there a little bit, into the background. So now we've got that knot done. We've done everything over here. Make sure it's as clean as you can, and then we can get on to sanding. And for sanding, I would do it while it's still on the board here. Start, I don't know, what do we got? Start with something like 120 grit here. At most, you shouldn't really need to start with anything less, more or less than that. And then you can get up to 180. 320, that's a very fine sandpaper. So what we can do is to really get this surface and the grain of the wood. Remember, we've chosen a wood that's got a nice figuring in it. We're going to get that really nicely showing, and it'll only show if we get it very fine. So we can start sanding, and remember that you work with one grit all over, then you can wipe that all off, then you work with the second grit, and the finer sandpaper removes the marks from the sandpaper before, like that, and then eventually towards we get to the end we'll wet it. But let me get on with this for the moment and get some of that shape. So I really enjoy this stage. It's only a little bit of carving, and I don't normally sand. Have a face mask, and I'd work as much as you can with the grain, like this. So this is my fine sandpaper. It's actually 320 grit here. So what I'm going to do now is get a damp rag and wet it, and you'll see how the colour changes immediately. Now this is a good thing for two reasons. It's going to lift the grain up, and then we're going to resand it. But also you can see the effect of something like oil would have if you used it on the surface. Now here I can see quite strong grains coming out, the figuring, and I don't want that. But it does give you an idea of how that colour might be affected by any finish that you put on. So it gives you a sense of that as well. So once I've done this, let that dry. I'll go over it again with my fine sandpaper, and then we're ready to remove it from the backing board.